And all right, so and welcome everyone. No, so the topic will be momentum oscillators, and we'll showcase mainly three indicators tonight. We have your stochastic, we have your RSI, and then you have your MACD. No? So tatlong klaseng momentum oscillators po, and these are very much used. There's a lot of strategies that incorporate these things, but whenever we do encounter these types of strategies, normally we just kind of follow them blindly. For example, di ba, yung strategy mo, you have like a combination of moving averages, a little bit of price action, and then you add your stochastic with that. So, yung criteria mo very specific. Kailangan above this moving average, kailangan ganito yung tsura ng price action, kailangan yung stochastic natin, it should be galing sa 20 level going upward. So we have to understand bakit nila sinasabi galing ilalim ng 20 na level and then it crosses upwards. Bakit tayo doon bibili? No, so we have to understand the concept of why that indicator is actually giving that signal. Okay? So by the way, at any point in time, no, kung may mga tanong kayo, just go ahead. No, we'll try to answer them as best as we can. And pero don't worry, hindi ko naman papahirapan yung ano natin, yung discussion natin. No, it's actually these things are very easy to understand. So let's start out with your stochastic oscillator. No, so for your oscillators, you can find them here. Dun sa ano natin, MetaTrader platform. Insert indicators, and then you go to oscillators, and then you'll find here stochastic oscillator. So yung stochastic natin, ito po yung default settings yan. Okay, 1433. No? Yan ang default setting. So whenever you open it, it asks you for some settings. I suggest you just keep it as default, no? Reset nyo na lang. Pag ni-reset nyo kasi 533 yung lalabas ng default ng MT4, no? But the person who made this, ang default settings niya talaga actually is 14. Okay? So I suggest you go with the 14 one, but it's up to you. You can test both, which one works for you better. But this is the, I guess, more original one. Okay. Now after that, you can change the colors if you like, just to suit your charts a little bit better. And then yung levels natin, let's just keep it at 80 and 20. So if you click OK, this is what you'll get out of it. No? So that's your stochastic oscillator. Now, kung mapapansin nyo, no, bakit sila tinatawag na oscillators? No? Kasi po, yung mga indicators na meron tayo, no, those types of indicators have a certain equilibrium. Ibig sabihin, meron yan parang equilibrium level, meron yan parang neutral level. Okay? So there's a neutral level. And the price, no, or rather yung figure na binibigay sa ng oscillator, basically it oscillates above and below that equilibrium. That's why it's called an oscillator. Kasi umaakit, bumababa siya. No? So it shifts up and down. So that's why they call it a oscillator. No? In this case, your stochastic oscillator is something called a banded oscillator. Ano ibig sabihin ng banded na oscillator? Ang banded na oscillator, that means meron siyang pinakamababa at saka meron siyang pinakataas. For example, if you look at the right side of your stochastic, you'll see that there are levels there, no? 0 to 100, yun yung pinakamababa at pinakamataas. And then in between that, no, you can customize whatever level you want to, put a line on. So right now, yung default is 80 and 20. So, meron niya equilibrium level, no? So naturally, yung nasa gitna, that's your equilibrium level, no? And it goes up and down, above and below that equilibrium level natin. Okay? So dito specifically, stochastic, there's a couple of things that you're seeing here. Number one, no, makikita nyo po na meron kang parang solid na line dyan, and then you have a dotted line that is a little bit delayed. And if you notice, the solid line is a little bit choppier, no, than your dotted line. Yung dotted line mo is a little bit smoother. So if we kind of zoom in a little bit, if you see here, ayun, kita nyo, mas choppy yung yung galaw nung solid line, and then smoother yung ating red line, no. So if you go to the settings there, no, makikita nyo po dito sa parameters, no. So that is your D period, no? Yan yung K at saka D period. Basically, ang pinapakita niyan is that this is your original value sa stochastic mo, yun yung solid na line. And then yung dotted line na yan, it's a moving average of that solid line. So ito, nakasulat doon 3. Ibig sabihin nun, this is a moving average 3, no? Simple moving average 3 nung line na to. Kaya siya smoother and it's a little bit delayed. Okay? So that's what your stochastic actually means, no? So ang ginagawa ng stochastic is that yung concept niya, meron siyang kinukuha na range over time. No? So it gets a certain range over time. For example, itong price na to, NZD CAD, ito yung pinakamataas na inaabot niya, ito yung pinakamababang inaabot niya na range over time. And then, kukunin niya yung closing price ng candlesticks mo. And based on that, yun yung kino-compute niya. No? Based on that range, more on pababa ba siya, more on pataas na ba siya dun sa range na yun. That is what it actually does. No? And with that, it tells you a little bit about momentum. No? Nasaan ba yung momentum ng market? No? Is it more on the downside? No? Kasi makikita mo yung range. No? Is more on the downside yung closing prices na niya. No? Yung range ba niya, or rather yung closing price nandun ba sa may taas banda ng range, and that tells you that the momentum is moving upwards naman. No? So that's actually what your stochastic oscillator is based on. We're not gonna go through the computation anymore. Ano yung 14, ano yung 3, whatever. No? See, it's a little bit of a process, no, to get there. So we really don't need that for now. But, understanding the concept na meron kang range ng price na kinukuha niya, and based on its closing price, doon niya binabase yung momentum. Okay? So, ang binibigay sa inyong figures nitong stochastic na to is that you can see that there is a 80 and 20 level. Yung levels na yan, they actually tell you overbought and oversold levels. No? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung overbought and oversold levels yan, no? Kapag yung price mo is above 80, or yung stochastic mo is above 80, that tells you that the market is already overbought. Ibig sabihin, masyado nang maraming bumibili, sagad na yung market, baka bumagsak na siya ulit. Ito naman, you can see that if your stochastic is below 20, ito naman oversold. Masyado nang marami nagbebenta, baka mag-rebound na yung market, umakyat ulit, no? Mag-retrace na siya paakyat. So, yun naman ang sinasabi nung 20 level natin. So, above 80 is overbought, below 20 is oversold, no? Tapos makikita nyo, yung angle din nung ating stochastic, no? If it's mainly pointing downwards, so pababa siya, that means the momentum is going down. Pag paakyat naman siya, no, that means the momentum is going upward. So, that's the reason why a lot of traders normally take a look at the stochastic, no, based on those 80 and 20 levels. Okay? If let's say nanggaling dito sa taas yung yung stochastic natin, no, at this point in time. Let me get my pen for that. Ayan. So sabihin natin nandito yung stochastic natin, no? Andiyan sa may taas. And the price is also at that level, no? So ang sinasabi nito is that yung price mo overbought na. Masyado nang maraming bumibili, baka naman mag-retrace na siya pa ba, no? Let me repeat, baka naman mag-retrace siya. It does not give you a sure answer that it will retrace, no? It's just telling you that it's overbought, no? But not necessarily will reverse. So, that's the reason why a lot of traders like to take a look at that level, price enters that, and whenever your stochastic exits that level, yun yung sinasabi nila na tapos na yung momentum papunta sa taas, no? So the momentum upwards is already done, nag-overbought na siya, and the price is already going downwards. So that time, ang sinasabi niyan is that there is already a shift in momentum going to the downside, no? And as this continues, ang sinasabi lang sa'yo is that continues pa rin yung momentum to the downside, no? And then pagdating na nung market dito sa below 20 natin, it's telling you that it's already oversold. And if you have some trades, no, na hindi ka na sigurado, naka-short ka pa rin, oversold na siya, baka naman gusto mo isara na. Okay? And with that, no, automatic magbabuy na ba tayo kaagad? Hindi pa, no? You still wait for your price action to do so. And if you just want to use your stochastic to confirm with that, it has to exit that level first, no? It has to close above that 20 before it tells you that the momentum has already shifted to the upside. Malinaw? Is that clear? Okay, I have a question here. Sir, may pinakamagandang setup po ba aside from the default settings? As none that I know of. So far, ano naman siya it achieves its purpose doon sa settings niya ng 1433. Yung 533, mas malikot siya ng konti. kumbaga mas mabilis siya umabot sa overbought and oversold levels. Okay? So if you want something that is slower, you can go for 1433. Yeah, let's try to compare, no? Gawa tayo ng dalawang klaseng stochastic, no? Let's add another one, and the other one has a settings of 533, yung default niya. Let's compare. Ayan. So kung mapapansin nyo, it's relatively the same, no? Pag dito, wait lang, layuan ko para mas makita niyo yung view, no? Ayan. So, kung mapapansin nyo, mas mas mabilis bumaba at saka mas mabilis umakyat yung 533. Kumbaga mas malikot siya. Ayan, if you take a note, compare these parts. Ayan, itong part na to, medyo smoother si 14. Ito medyo malikot si 533. Ito na makita nyo, ang daming time siyang umakyat at bumaba. Ito medyo nagstay lang siya to the top side. Okay? Ito naman, kita nyo, ang daming zigzag na ginawa. Ito medyo smoother yung kilos niya. No? So, it's up to you which one you want to use. No? Kung gusto mo may 533 mas mabilis, or gusto mo yung slower one, 1433. No? I suggest doon muna kayo sa default, doon sa true default, yung talagang tunay na settings niya, which is 1433. Okay? Pero, I mean, if it works for you yung 533, okay lang naman, walang problema. Okay? So, hopefully I was able to answer that. No? Is this for all time frames? Yes. No, it works for all time frames. Kasi, again, if you go back to the point of the oscillator, it does achieve its point regardless of the time frame. Okay? Na sinasabi niya, the momentum is on the downside, it's on the upside. But we have to remember that the higher the time frame, the more reliable the signals will be. So, kumbaga, compare mo yung momentum ng H4 at D1, no, you compare it to M5 or M15, masusundin mo yung mas mataas. Okay. Alright. So, going back, no. Anong pagkakaiba sa MACD? Mamaya, aabot tayo sa MACD. Sa natin, idudulo natin ng konti yung MACD kasi mas malapit si Stochastic at saka si RSI. Okay? So, if you want to incorporate your stochastics in your system, no, there's two ways to do it. No? Generally, kasi kapag nagtitrade naman kayo, ang madalas naman na trades na hinahanap natin are number one, market continuation, no? Kumbaga trend following systems, or yung mga reversal systems. No? Ano naman yan eh. No? Actually, marami naman types of strategies, but majority of them fall under those two. No? You have trend following systems and then you have reversal systems. So if you want to use it on trend following systems, kailangan susundan nyo po yung momentum niya. It has to, for example, kung naghahanap ka ng bullish momentum, it has to go below your 20 level and cross above. And while it's going upwards, no, yun yung momentum niya upwards. No? So that's basically your buy time para dito sa stochastic na to. It has to cross below your 20 level and cross above it again before it confirms that the momentum is already on the top side. No? And as long as it's continuing to go upwards, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung bullish momentum natin dyan. No? Your bullish momentum ends kapag umakyat na siya above 80 and then it crosses back down. So, kapag umabot na siya ng 80, it does not necessarily mean na tapos na yung bullish movement. Kasi minsan, tutuloy-tuloy ba yan, no? Ayun, no? If you take a look at this example over here, ang tagal niyang nagstay dito sa may taas. Ilang beses din siya nag-cross down, no? And those are just very small retraces in the market. Alright? So, hindi ibig sabihin pumasok ng 80, sell ka kagad, no? It's just a warning sign. If it crosses below, yun na yung sinasabi niya na nagsishift na yung momentum, no? So for example, this one is a shift, this one is a shift, no? This one is a shift, and this one is a shift as well. Mapapansin mo, yun yung mga times na nag-retrace din yung market. Okay? All right. Now, if you're looking for bullish momentum, no? For bullish momentum, below 20 naman, crossing above. Okay? Now, if you're using it for, so yun yung medyo pang trend following, no? Abangan mo yung dito. Okay? Now, for trend reversal systems, actually, pwede mo rin gamitin yung same idea kanina. It has to cross below 20 and cross above 20, or cross above 80 and then cross below 80 after, no? Ang problema nun, madalas late na. Nag-reverse na yung market bago niya ibigay yung signal na yan, no? So, one of the best things that it can actually, tell you is that kapag umabot na siya ng 80 or 20, pwede ka na maghanap ng reversal. Pwede ka na magsimulang maghanap ng reversal, no? And you still have to base your reversal on other things like price action. Hindi pwedeng pure stochastic. Kasi pag pure stochastic, hindi yan gagana. Alright? So, if you kind of summarize it, no, your stochastic is a very good indicator. No, it gives you a very clean looking momentum. It also tells you overbought and oversold levels. It can give you signs of reversal in the market if it goes to below 20 or above 80 tapos bumalik siya. Okay. So yun yung strengths nung ating uh, stochastic oscillator. But ano naman yung weaknesses niya, no? Yung weaknesses niya kapag ginamit mo siya for reversals, hinintay mo below 20 and then above 20, madalas late na. Okay? Yun yung ano niya. Yun yung kanyang weakness naman. Okay? If you use it alone, yun yung magiging signal mo. Kunwari, pag umabot siya ng below 20, buy ka na kagad. Umabot siya ng 80, sell ka na kagad. It's not gonna work. Okay? So you have to put it together with other indicators as well. Kailangan may confluence tayo. No? So that's your stochastic oscillator. No? Now, the last part that it does are divergences. It can spot divergences for you. Divergences, they are best used for markets that are reversing. Okay? So actually, dun ko talaga ginagamit yung mga oscillators. I normally use them for divergences. Okay? So, mamaya pag-usapan natin yung divergences, but we're gonna use the RSI for that. No? Kasi yung divergences, you can actually use them. You can spot them using the three indicators that we're gonna discuss today. No? Pero pinakamadali siyang makita sa RSI kasi. So, doon natin siya i-discuss. Alright, so any questions with stochastic before we move forward to RSI? Okay, sir, maganda bang gamitin yan as a support and resistance indicator like pivots? Not so much. Hindi masyado. Kasi kung gagamitin mo siya support resistance or pivot points, hindi siya masyadong gagana kasi late siya. Remember, no, if you're using that kind of analysis, no, yung pivots, reversals, no, it falls under reversals. And if you're just using it as a reversal tool, medyo mahina siya. Okay? Mas maganda siya gamitin kung divergence yung titingnan mo. All right. So I hope I was able to answer that. Okay, let's move forward now to our RSI. No? So delete ko muna to para medyo maluwag-luwag. Wait lang, ito meron pa pala ako hindi nasagot dito. So, ibig sabihin nung baka mag-retrace, dapat tumingin sa higher time frame. Sure kung overbought or oversold. Hindi ho. No? Ang ibig sabihin ko ng baka is that you have to add more factors that can tell you the market is reversing. So, pwedeng yung, kanwari, price action natin, coming from a downtrend, magkakaroon ka ng higher low, higher high. So, yun yung uptrend. No? So, you have to use other confirmations. Okay? That's what I meant about it. Alright. So, okay ba siya gamitin with FIBO? For momentum, oo. Kapag nagte-trend siya upwards, oo, pwede. So, kumbaga trend following yung style mo ng paggamit ng stochastic, pwede. Alright. So, yung RSI naman nandito yan, no? Insert indicators and then let's go to RSI. Sorry. Insert indicators, oscillators. Ayan. Makikita nyo si Relative Strength Index. Yun yung longer version ni RSI. And then yung parameters, ang default niyan 14. Okay na yung 14, no? Actually, hindi nyo na kailangan galawin yan. Tapos yung apply, no? Just apply to close. Leave it at default. Ayos na yan, no? Palitan nyo na lang yung color. Depende sa itsura ng charts nyo. I have a white chart, so okay na sa akin yung medyo blue. Now, for your levels, by default, ang levels yan ay 70 and 30. Okay? 70 and 30 ang levels yan. So for now, di-discuss ko yung 70-30 muna kasi yun yung kumbaga default settings niya. And then after, we're gonna try to modify it to these ones. No? You have 80, 40, 60, and 20. May explain ko mamaya kung bakit yan yung ginagamit ko. Alright. So, sorry, hindi ko in-apply. Okay. So, ito yung RSI natin. Okay. And so, you'll also have another window separate from the main chart, no? Similar to the other oscillators. And if you notice, it's also a banded indicator. So, meron kang levels from 0 to 100 and then nasa gitna, meron ka dyang 50. Actually, pwede kang maglagay ng 50 kung gagamitin mo siya as a momentum indicator. Sandali magdagdag tayo. Let's try to add 50 here. Ayan. So, meron tayong 50 sa gitna. No? Okay. So, ano ba yung ginagawa ng RSI? No? What does the relative strength index indicator do? So, ang ginagawa po niyan is kukunin niya yung bullish at saka bearish candlesticks mo. No? So, it actually gets your bullish and bearish candlesticks and then it gets the rate of change ng price nung bullish at saka bearish candlesticks mo. So it checks the rate of change ng prices ng bullish candlesticks mo and then it compares it against the rate of change ng price doon sa mga bearish candlesticks natin. That's what it actually does. No? Kasi si stochastic kanina, meron kang price range. Kung saan siya nagsara, doon niya binabase yung momentum mo. Dito naman, kukunin niya yung mga bullish at bearish candlesticks mo. Check niya yung rate of change, tapos i-compare niya yung bullish at bearish candlesticks. And based on that, kung more on nasa bullish side, mas mabilis yung rate of change ng mga bullish candlesticks mo kaysa sa bearish candlesticks mo, that would tell you nasa bullish yung momentum. Okay? So, that is what your RSI does in concept. Okay? So, yung 14 na settings kanina, that's just the default period that we use. Okay na yun. No? That already works. Now, initially, ang ginagawa ng RSI is that it tells you the momentum of the market based on yung 50 na level. No? Kasi yung equilibrium niya actually is 50. Now, if price is above 50, that means bullish yung momentum. If price is below 50, that means bearish yung momentum. Tandaan nyo na. So, kung naghahanap kayo ng trend following system, kindly take note na kapag above 50 siya, bullish yung momentum mo. Kapag below 50, bearish yung momentum natin. Okay? Tapos, so that's super easy to interpret compared to our stochastic kanina, 'di ba? Mas simple si RSI. Now, in addition to that, meron din yang overbought and oversold levels. No, your overbought and oversold levels are actually found at 70. No, meron ka diyang 70 and then meron ka din ditong 30. Ayan. Okay. So, yung 70 and 30 level na yan, that is your overbought and oversold level similar to your stochastic earlier na 80 and 20. Ngayon, kapag yung price po, it goes above 70, that means price is overbought. And if it goes below 30, that means it's over. Sorry, baliktad, no? If it's below 30, this is oversold. If it's above 70, that is overbought. Okay? So similar, no? Very similar to your stochastic. So you can also use the same idea that we had. It crosses above 70 and crosses below. Pwede ka mag-sell. It crosses below 30 and crosses above that. Pwede ka mag-buy, no? But I'll be very honest. If you use it that way, it's not gonna work out very well. Bakit? Gagana po yung 70 and 30 level natin kapag ranging yung market. That works if the market is ranging and it's not going anywhere. However, if the market is trending, wala kang makukuhang signal sa 70 and 30. During an uptrend, it's very rare that the market goes down to 30 and crosses above that. If the market is in a downtrend, it rarely goes to 70. And that's the reason why naglagay ako ng additional levels na 60 and 80 and then 40 and 20. Okay? Bakit? No? Ano yan? If we take out our 70 and 30 for now, you will notice na nilagyan ko dyan ng up-down. No? Kapag uptrend yung market, I use 80 and 40. Lalagyan ko na lang ng linya para mas makita natin. Okay? Pag uptrend yung market, 80 and 40 ang gamit ko. Kapag downtrend, 60 and 20. Bakit? Try natin, check natin sa market, no? So this one is relatively trending upwards. Okay? Tapos kung makikita nyo, kung naghahanap ka ng opportunity to buy, no, para sumali dito sa uptrend na yan, malayong-malayo yung level natin na 30. Kung titingnan nyo, ito yung 30 natin. Talagang hindi umaabot yung presyo doon. Dito naman sa 40 natin, halos tinamaan, konting-konti lang, no? It just barely reached it. So, dyan tayo mag-aabang ng oversold level sa uptrend, no? So, let's try to look at the other uptrends. Check natin. Other uptrends and downtrends. Tingin tayo sa H4. Ayan, medyo ranging yung market. So, gagana yung 70-30 dyan. Okay. Ayan. So, ayan. So, this one is a relatively long uptrend, no? So, itong uptrend na yan, makikita nyo po that there are a couple of times that it reached your 40 level, kung yan yung gagamitin mong oversold. You have that there. And then you have this here. So makita nyo, there's actually some opportunity that we were able to get, no? Nakahanap tayo ng mga areas na pwede na siyang oversold during an uptrend. But if we were going to use 30, medyo malabo. Hindi yan naabot. Ayan yung 30, oh. This is 30. So definitely, hindi umabot yung presyo dyan during an uptrend. So you try to modify it kung yun yung gagamitin nyo. Kapag downtrend naman, let's check a downtrend. Ayan, ito, downtrend yung market. I-shift mo lang yung levels natin. You're going to use 60 and 20. Yung 60 and 20, kung mapapansin nyo, dito nagkaroon tayo ng mga opportunities. If we check it out, meron ka isa dito. You have a couple of times here. 1, 2, and 3. Ayun. So during that downtrend, we were able to spot it a couple of times. But if we were going to use the default 70, hindi yan naabot. Ayan, no? Zoom in natin para makita nyo. Lakihan ko na lang. Ayan, see? Hindi siya aabot sa 70. So you use 60 and 20 during a downtrend. Kapag ranging, sige, ayos lang. Pwede nyo gamitin yung 70 and 30. Okay? Any questions so far with the default, kumbaga hindi naman default, medyo may modified na nga na RSI natin. May tanong. Is everything clear so far? And you're welcome. You're welcome for the tip. It didn't come from me though. I also learned it from someone else. I'll be honest. Pero thank you kasi nagagamit ko din. All right. Next is okay, so wala namang questions, no? So ngayon, let's discuss divergences, which I believe is the most important part whenever we're using momentum oscillators. Bakit? Kasi po, ang divergences, these are signals na pwedeng makuha natin sa market na may possible reversal, no? So it gives you an idea that there could be a possible reversal in the market. Bakit, no? Paano nasabi 'yon? Well, normally, kapag ang price, kunwari, uptrend yung market, no? Giving you higher highs, no? Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Tapos, yung indicator mo, hindi na siya pataas. Ang pinapakita ng indicator sa'yo, baliktad. Lower highs na, no? Yung price mo, higher high pa, pero yung indicator mo, lower highs na, pababa na. So, for example, this is a relatively visible example over here. Ayan. So, for example, ayan, kita nyo. Ito, kita nyo, pataas pa yung price. Ito naman, pababa na siya. So, it's quite clear. Okay? Price is still reaching higher highs. Pero pag tingnan mo yung RSI mo, pababa na yung highs ng RSI. Bakit? Kasi ang sinasabi nito, that the market is already losing its momentum. Hindi na siya kasing lakas ng momentum dun sa una. Kumbaga, even though this part is higher in price, what it's telling you is that yung momentum ng market, mas malakas siya nung time na nandito siya. And it's already losing steam on this dito sa price level na yan. And what that is telling you is that there is a divergence. May pagkakaiba. No? The price is telling you it's going up, but your indicator is telling you it's going down. And that is normally a reversal sign in the market. May chance na bumaliktad na yung market if you see a divergence. No? So if you're looking for market reversals, kailangan may divergence talaga. No? You have to look for divergence because that will really give you good confluence, no? Good analysis sa market. And true enough, ang laki nga naman ng binaba after. Yan, kita nyo, medyo nag-shift na siya ng downtrend dyan. Alright? So that is called the bearish divergence. Ano naman yung bullish divergence? Bullish divergence, baliktad lang. No? What you're seeing on your charts is that lower lows, pababa yung price. Pero kung titignan nyo yung RSI nyo, paakyat na siya. See? That's exactly the same area. You can see that the price is giving you lower lows. And then, yung sa ating RSI, higher lows na. Paakyat na. So, ang sinasabi nito, mas malakas yung bearish momentum nung una. Ngayon, medyo lumalamang na yung bullish momentum kahit yung price lalong bumababa. It just tells you that the rate of change is lower now. And that could be a good signal for you to look for opportunities to buy. And true enough, depende na lang sa mga method nyo ng paghanap ng entry or reversal. For example, you're looking for simple price action lang, no? Market moves up here, creates a high, di ba? Goes down here, higher low. Pag break ng market dito, that's a higher high. That would be your entry. Ayan, dito. And that's a couple of pips upwards. No? That's a total of pinakataas, 330. Pero hindi mo naman maabot yan. But you get 100 pips out of that trade. That's not bad. Okay? Pwede na yun. That is called a bullish regular divergence. No? So ito mga pinapakita ko sa inyo, these are called regular divergences. No? And as much as possible, let's just focus on regular divergences first. Later na yung mga complex divergences, no? Hidden divergences. Kasi medyo masakit na sa ulo yun eh. Pero kung naghanap lang kayo ng simpleng reversal sa market, okay na to. Regular divergence, that's already okay. Ayan. So, kung titignan nyo, majority of yung mga major reversal sa market, makakita talaga kayo ng divergence. So, are there any charts you guys want to check out? Tignan natin yung historical data ng mga malalaking reversal sa market. At kung may ma-spot sana tayo ng mga divergence doon, that could have been a pretty good trade. So, ito, I have a good question. Anong time frame okay ang divergences? Any time frame okay naman. No? Higher time frames would give you more reliable ones. Pero kahit sa M15, H1, gumagana yan. It works. Alright, let's try a couple of ones. Try natin gold, GJ, at saka WTI. So, try muna natin si gold. Okay. Alright, for gold, tingnan natin. No? So far, the market has been in a very long uptrend. Okay? Very, very long uptrend. So, tingnan muna natin yung start nung trend na yan. No? Were we able to spot some divergences? Ayan. Kung makikita nyo po dito, the market was going down here. Tapos, ito po, medyo nag-stable na siya. Actually, slightly higher. Slightly higher. Mahirap makita. No? Pero may divergence yan sa D1 charts. If you go down to the H4 charts, it would probably would have been clearer. Yan. So, makikita nyo dito. Yan. Dito wala. Sa H4 wala. No? So, no divergences on H4. It was only on D1 nakita. No? Sa H4 wala. Okay, so ngayon medyo tuloy-tuloy uptrend, no? Market is going up. Yan. Nandito pala, no? Wait lang. I was in the wrong area. Yan, so nandito pala. So this is where the reversal was. Ayan, so tingnan natin. Shift tayo sa D1 ulit. Ayan, ito yung April eh. Medyo umakyat yung market, nag-pause ng konti. And then from there, tingnan natin, no? Market is going down here. Oh, lower lows. Dito, meron na tayong medyo pataas na. Ayan. A little bit. If we go down to the H4 chart, let's check it out. Wala masyadong klaro doon. No? Not very clear of a divergence. Let's check it out here. Slightly lang. No? Konti lang. Market is going up here. Dito naman, market is medyo nag-stabilize siya ng konti. No? Pero very, very minor divergence. From there, medyo malaki na inakyat tong market. And now, no, if we look at the recent market, medyo magulo kasi ngayon eh. COVID season eh. So, ang hirap basahin. No? But you already have the market showing you higher highs. Okay. Ito, pababa na siya. So, tuloy-tuloy na yung momentum pababa. So, we'll see. No? If you just contain it to the most recent levels, meron pa rin siyang bearish divergence. No? So, if you think about it, gold, gold can actually reverse. No, we'll see. May possibility mag-reverse ang gold kasi meron kang dito, divergence. But you still need some technicals, additional factors with that. So, kunwari, nakikita nyo dito, medyo nagiging na siya, more of a flag/pennant looking, chart. So, if it breaks to the downside, sige, pwede ka na mag-sell. No? But if it breaks to the top side, out muna tayo sa market. All right. Let's have another example. GJ. GBP, JPY. Okay. So, GJ naman, tingnan natin. If we see some market reversals. Kasi medyo magulo ang ngayon. Magulo yung mga yen pairs eh. Sa current market kasi COVID season eh. But let's see tingnan natin. So far, wala pa naman masyado. No? But yung dito sa baba, yung recent reversal niya, na paakyat, you have a very nice looking divergence there. Ayun, kita nyo, tuloy-tuloy yung market pababa. Ito tuloy-tuloy siya paakyat. So this was pretty obvious. And from there, normally naman, ang analysis mo na yan is more on meron kang channeling downwards. Pag binasag niya yan, medyo paakyat na yung market. No? It did go up for a while. Pero ngayon medyo bumalik lang siya ulit. No? So it consolidated for the past few weeks already. Wala pa masyadong pinupuntahan yung market. Okay. Alright. Pero this was a very visible reversal there. Okay. Yung mga flags. No? Flags and pennants, these are mainly consolidating prices. It's a type of candlestick pattern. You have some consolidating prices. No? And it could go up or go down based on wherever the price goes. It's a medyo mahirap siya explain eh, no? But maybe we'll try to have a separate webinar on that, no? Kasi kailangan makita nyo yung rules eh. Pero you can Google that, no? It's it's public data. Tawag doon flags and pennants. Okay. We'll try to make a price action webinar on that too. Anyway, so going back to our topic. So yan yung RSI natin. No? For stochastics, you can also use the same principles. So for tingnan natin, insert, indicator, stochastic oscillator. Pag nilabas nyo po yan, mas magulo lang siya ng konti tignan. Pero makakita din po kayo ng mga divergences dyan. So for example, ito, di ba, nagda-divergence paakyat. Siya din naman, binibigyan ka din yan ng divergence. But it's just not as clean as your RSI. Okay. But if you prefer stochastic, okay lang, walang problema. No? It depends on what you're more comfortable with. Okay? So any questions so far before we go to MACD? Okay. So i-recap ko lang yung RSI. To use RSI, you can use it for its momentum if it's above 50, bullish momentum if it's below 50, bearish momentum. If you want to use overbought and oversold levels, if you use 70 and 30, that only works for a ranging market. But if the market is trending, kung uptrend yan, try to use 80 and 40. If it's a downtrend, try to use 60 and 20. That might be more applicable. And lastly, it would be best used if you're trying to spot divergences in the market. Okay? Yan, medyo malinis siya tignan. Now, the last one is MACD. Ang MACD, that is moving average, convergence, divergence. Dito niyo po siya makikita. Insert, indicators, oscillators, tapos nandyan po yung MACD. Ngayon, yung MACD na makikita niyo dito sa MT4 or MT5, it's a little different from the original MACD. No? So, ang ituturo ko na lang is yung MACD version dito. Kasi ito yung available sa atin eh. Ano naman relatively the same naman quite similar naman, may mga may kulang lang dito sa MACD dito sa MT4 and MT5. So yung default settings yan is 12 and 26 yan yung ano niya, 12 and 26, tapos meron kang SMA na 9 pero mainly mag-focus lang tayo dito sa 12 and 26 natin. And then from there just apply to close, okay na yan. Tapos wala namang levels sa kailangan dyan. And then you click OK. And you'll be able to see some sort of a histogram on your charts. So medyo magulo tignan, Ano ba ibig sabihin yan, Yung MACD, long version, is moving average, convergence, divergence. Ang ibig sabihin nun, meron kang dalawang moving average na nagko-converge at saka nagda-diverge. So ibig sabihin, may dalawa kang moving average na naglalapit sa isa't isa tapos lumalayo sa isa't isa. That's like the dumb version way of saying MACD. So like two moving averages getting closer and getting farther. So parang yun yung ibig sabihin ng MACD. So what do you mean by two moving averages? Earlier, we saw your default settings as 12 and 26. So your moving averages are actually just based on two EMAs na isang 12, isang 26. Nandito insert, indicators, trend, tapos maglagay tayo ng moving average, Ayan. So, dapat exponential yan. And then, period is 12. Lagay tayo ng 12. Let's color it red. Tapos, maglagay din tayo ng isa pa. 26 naman. Alright, then let's color it blue. Okay. So, ngayon, ay, mali yung ano ko. Wait lang. Bakit siya dotted? Yan. Alright. So, if you look closely, dito sa ano natin, sa MACD po natin, focus muna tayo dito sa MACD, mamaya na sa charts. Makikita nyo po na meron kang histogram dito, tapos meron kang parang delayed na red line dyan. So, yung histogram natin, meron niyang equilibrium na zero. Yun yung nasa gitna. Okay? So, that's your equilibrium. Yan yung zero line natin. Lagay ko na lang sa zero para hindi magulo. Okay. Yan. Tapos, kung mapapansin nyo, yung histogram natin shifts from the negative side to the positive side, vice versa. So, itong area na to, yung nasa ilalim niyan, that's negative. Itong area naman sa taas, this is positive. Okay? So, ang interpretation niyan is that whenever your histogram crosses from negative to positive, kagaya nito, that tells you there is a shift in trend. Kumbaga, that is an uptrend. And if you take a look at your EMAs, it just gives you the same idea. Nag-cross lang yung dalawang EMA mo na 12 and 26. Diyan actually galing yun. Okay? That's where the crosses come from. At kung matatandaan niyo isang webinar natin o yung moving averages na webinar natin, we know that whenever these two moving averages cross each other, it's a sign of a reversal, a trend change. Tapos, kung mapapansin nyo, yung histogram nyo din, tumataba, tapos numinipis, For example, itong time na to, medyo mataba yung histogram natin, Ang laki nung bars natin. But if we compare it over here, medyo mas maliit yung bars natin. Bakit ganoon? The height of your histogram actually depends on the distance between your two moving averages. So, kung makikita nyo po yung 12 at 26, itong time na to, medyo makalaki yung difference nila. Medyo malaki yung space, yung gap between your 12 and 26 EMA. And whenever the gap is big, lumalaki din yung histogram natin. Now, whenever the gap is small, maliit din yung histogram natin. Diyan na actually galing yun. Alright? It's actually the difference, no, or rather the distance between your two moving averages whenever they converge or whenever they diverge. Malinaw so far? Is everything clear? Okay. So I have a question here, no? Nasan dyan yung MACD line, no? At yung signal line. So normally, no, traders use the red line that you see there. Ang problema niyan, medyo delayed yan kasi moving average yan eh. So it's actually like a moving average of a moving average. So it's very delayed. So what I do instead is that you take a look at your histogram level. Pag nilagay nyo naman yung mouse nyo dito sa mga bars, makikita nyo yung level ng histogram dyan. Eh, no? MACD, value, negative 0.1596. Tapos kung titingnan mo yung next bar, value, 0.0136. So kumbaga from here to here, nag-crossover na siya from negative to positive side. At nung time na nagsara na yung MACD mo dyan ng positive side, that is when it tells you that the market is already going upwards. Okay? So yan ang mas magandang gamitin kaysa dun sa dotted na red line. Pero yung mga ibang strategies, use the dotted red line, as long as gumagana, ayos lang naman. No? Pero if you want it to be a little bit earlier, ito yung gagamitin nyo. Okay, I have a question here, no? Ilang bars before mag-entry? Depende yan sa ano nyo eh. Depende yan sa strategy na gagamitin nyo, no? But if you're just gonna use it plainly as is, then on the first bar itself, na kapag nag-positive na siya, that's when you buy, no? Pag nag-negative na siya, that's when you sell. But, you know, that's okay lang yun, no? But you have to have good risk management, no? Other confluences that could help you get a better trade. Okay? Alright? So, ayan. Kita nyo, whenever they cross each other, bibigyan ka din ng, ayan. So, medyo maganda yung trade natin kasi nag-trend yung GJD nung time na to eh. No? So, they crossed each other, umakyat siya, no? Tapos, kung makikita nyo, nag-cross back down, that's already your close signal or your sell signal as well. No? Now, another way to use your MACD is you take a look at the rate of change ng histogram nyo. No? Kapag nakikita nyo na yung histogram nyo, medyo makapal na. Kita nyo, kagaya nito, kung makapal na, you take a look at the time when it starts to decline. So for example, ito, ang taas na ng histogram na to eh. This gives you a value of negative 1.8893. So medyo malayo na yan. Now, yung next value mo sa histogram mo is slightly more positive. Negative 1.8797. Yung nakaraan, negative 1.8893. So kita mo, medyo nag-shift na yung histogram natin. No? It's now going to the positive side. So once you see a decline in your histogram, yan actually yung early reversals na pwede nating makita sa market. Okay? Malinaw? You can also check out some divergences using this method, pero medyo mahirap. Okay? Kasi ayan, medyo maliliit yung mga makikita niyong divergence dyan. Actually, ito hindi to divergence. This is a hidden divergence. Anyway, let me correct that. All right. Dito pala wala, no? We weren't able to spot any divergences there. Yan. Dito, meron, no? But just a little bit. You have a market going up here, no? And then nakikita nyo yung histogram natin, MACD natin is going down. Pwede yan. For the small ones, no, yung mga mini divergences, pwede din naman yon. You use the bars over here, but it's a little more difficult. No? Now, if you're gonna use MACD for divergences, it's not as easy as RSI or Stochastic. Kaya suggestion ko, dun kayo sa RSI or Stochastic, maghanap na yung divergences. Okay? All right. Any questions so far with MACD? Okay. So, just to summarize your MACD, no? Ang ginagawa ng MACD, it just tells you, you know, based on your EMAs 12 and 26 kung kailan yung reversal sa market. Now, in addition to that, what's nice about it is that you're gonna be able to see the histogram. Yung histogram na yan, that can tell you a couple of things, no? Kapag nagde-decline na yung histogram mo, kumbaga nagre-reverse na yung momentum, that's an early sign for a reversal sa market. At the same time, you can also spot a couple of divergences using that yung histogram natin, but it's slightly more difficult, no, than RSI and stochastic. All right? Now, the original version nung MACD, may makikita pa kayong dalawang linya na nandyan. You'll be able to see two moving averages pa dyan, no? But for now, we're not gonna, cover that kasi wala naman yan dito sa default natin. Okay? But if you use other charting software, makikita nyo yun. Okay, I have a good question here. Saan mas effective ang MACD? Is it ranging or trending? Trending yan. For me, personally, mas nagagamit ko siya sa trending. Kasi based pa rin siya sa dalawang moving average. Alright, I have a question here. May recording ba tayo ng previous webinars? Yes, we have that. Saan mas effective yung MACD? Ito, nasagot ko na pala yun. Alright, so any more questions before we end? No? So now you have a better idea on your momentum oscillators, no? May idea na tayo kung saan sila talaga based, no? Your RSI is based on the rate of change of your bullish against your bearish candlesticks. Your stochastic oscillator is based on a certain range of price, no, over time, and then kung saan yung closing price, yun yung ginagamit yung momentum. You have overbought and oversold levels. You have divergences now. You also know what your MACD does and what your histogram is for, no? So hopefully you can now apply it better to your trading, no? So tandaan nyo, may mga strengths at may mga weaknesses yung mga indicators na yan. No? Wala namang indicator na perfect. No? There's no holy grail indicator. There's no magic combination of indicators that's gonna make everything work. That's not the case. No? So we still need to have a full trading plan. You have to have your price action strategies. You have to have your fundamentals. And if you're looking for momentum and divergences, your oscillators can definitely help you with that. Okay? So I have some questions here before we end, no? Effective talaga yan, no? Supports and resistances sa D1. Oh, sarap, di ba? Supports and resistances sa D1. And then you go to a lower time frame H1 and then you check divergences there, no? Yung lower time frame reversals. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good strategy already. And I hope you make a lot of money for that. Yan, you're welcome. No, welcome. Sir, saan po i-apply yung stochastic? Simple po ba or exponential? Stochastic, alam ko simple lang yan. What's the difference? To be honest, I don't know very much. No? Hindi ko masyadong alam. Kasi kung ang basihan lang naman yung moving average doon sa stochastic, then kung simple yon, kung ilan yung periods na ina-average niya, it averages it flat out. No? Pero pag exponential, it gives a little bit more weight doon sa mga recent. Which is best among the three? Wala naman pong best, but personally, I like RSI best. No? Personal yun Kasi yung stochastic, medyo maraming linya, so nahirapan ako. Yung MACD naman, ganun din, maraming linya. So nahirapan ako. RSI gives me the simplest way to look at the market. It saves me time. No? So RSI yung nakahiligan ko na whenever I look for divergences. Ayun, Fabian ni Coach. Di ba nakikita nyo lagi sa charts ko yan? Madalas nagamit ko yan. Alright, so anyway, thank you everyone. No? I'll see you again next week. At nakalimutan ko yung topic natin next week. But we'll also have another topic for everyone. So thank you everyone.